Hey everybody, this is Scott, aka Bama Z-Man, coming to you with my first haul video. Well, this is actually the third attempt of the first haul video. Who knew you had to turn the camera sideways in order to make YouTube fill up the whole screen? That's just a note in case you ever want to start doing your own videos. Turn your phone sideways. Let's get on to the items that I found. I do yard sales most every Saturday here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And this printer is probably the find of the day. It is a Epson Photo 3220. When I got to the yard sale, the lady said, "Oh, those two printers are in the free pile." Well, I just happened to look up this one, and it's under 300 in printers, and it sells for $89. That was a good free pile. Deb, thanks for letting me know about the Coca Latte things. That was $2. Going to get a $35 check. I picked up this AT&T phone. The box, as you can see, is not in great shape, but if you open it up and look inside, the phone's brand new, never been used, still has the stickers on the display. The last one sold for $68. It is number 676 in CE and paid $15, and I'm going to list it for $89. If you watch the Paul's Resale Wake Up Show, he told you about using phones, whether they're used or not. If they're DECT 6.0s or some 5.8s, make sure you look them up to see what they're worth. This one was $4 and it sells for $59. So that's nice profit there. Picked up this Sony camera. I had to dig to find the charger, but this Handycam is a DVD camera, a DV, the small tape camera, and it sells for $141 in average condition. A label maker. I'm gonna try to quit saying I noticed I do that. It was $1. It sells for $28. It's a PT 1700. I picked up these games here. The Wii Resort and the Wii Party both go for about $25. The other two I picked up to stick with boards because, again, Paul told me I should put boards together. Never Pass Up Sony Walkman, $2. It's a cassette Walkman. It sells for, I think, around $47 and has a great rank. For $1, I picked up a battery backup for an iPhone 6. My wife will probably steal that, but that's okay because she wears out her phone talking on it, and every now and then I have her scan for me on our week trips. So maybe I'll get some benefit out of that. This Canon camera was $2. It sells for low 50s. Had a 1 gig memory card in, which was pretty cool, and this is one of the ones that uses AA battery, so there was no need for a battery or anything. I will most likely stick a USB cable with it just so they can get their pictures off of it. I keep wanting to turn it sideways. The radio pin. If you don't know something, don't assume. This was one that I thought, man, $2. Am I even gonna bother with it? It sells for $29. Its rank is under 100 in electronics. That's pretty good profit for just throwing it in the bag. 75 cents for the Casio camera. I don't know if it works yet. I hadn't got around to that. So I will test it and see, but it's about a $30 little TV, and with football and everything coming on, it's probably a good time to have it. I picked up the battery for a Dell laptop for 50 cents. I think it's worth about $18. I need to figure out some way to test and see if it's actually new or if they actually used it. Again, Sony. It was a pretty good Sony day for me at the yard sales. $4 for these headphones. There's no FBA seller, and they sell at $33 MF, so I'm going to list them probably $42.95. You have to watch out with Sony, though. A word of caution for Sony. Sony is one of those brands that is sometimes you cannot sell new. It is sometimes restricted, sometimes not. The older an item is, like the camera, the Walkman, and this set of headphones, they're not restricted, so I'm good for those. But with your Amazon seller app, check those every time. Never seen a digital camcorder like this, but for $2 I looked it up. Lowest FBA is $29. It's got a terrible rank, but you know, $2. There's not a lot of risk in $2. A mobile CD transceiver. That is something that I had not seen since my father's pickup in the 80s. I live in the South, and I've lived in Alabama, but never been accused too much of being a redneck, so no CBs. Got the CB and the antenna. Both of them are new. The boxes show some where they've been stored in a moist environment, so they've got some mold on or whatever. But they're brand new. The last used ones, it goes on again. The last used one sold for $66. The last new one sold for $100 on eBay. So I'm going to stick it on eBay. Picked up these movies. Movies are, see if I can get it where you can see it. Movies are another one where you got to check them and see if you're eligible. They are all new. They were all $3 and they're all in the $22 range. And VHSs, those two VHS tapes at the very bottom there, I guess you can see North to Alaska. I think that's John Wayne. They were new. They were $25, and they're $9 or $10. But you throw them in an FBA box for $25, make $5 or $6, and help pay for shipping on everything else. It's a pretty good deal all the way around. The Picturemate, the Epson, it was an Epson printer day too. This guy was $5 in the box with everything with it, manuals, everything. It's got a low rank and it sells for $94, I believe. Overall, I spent $80 at the yard sale, so it was a good day for the things that I got. Tycoon, has anybody heard of Tycoon? Me either. I scanned it anyway. What a shock. Used, very good condition, which this one's in. It was played once because it was one scorecard used. It goes for $37. I thought the Yacht Tunes was pretty interesting for a couple dollars. There's only one on eBay for $60. That's the only place I could find that thing. It's a USB speaker shaped like a yacht. Interesting. Here's some more of the Sony VHS player. $2. I have to find a remote, which I actually do have a remote for this one. Do not send in a VHS or sell a VHS on Amazon, a VCR without a remote. You might get away with it 50 times, but time number 51, you will get suspended. If it came with a remote, you send it with a remote. They're cheap enough to buy on eBay, sometimes Amazon, but a little more expensive. The middle one is a Philips DVD and a VHS player, $10, but it had the remote, sells for $100. And then the Sharp on the very bottom, I had a remote for the Sharp. It was not a $2 VCR. So that's it. That's my yard sale finds for this. I hope to do more videos and show you what I find. I get labeled as the RA guy who does on the road traveling, which I enjoy, but I also can't get thrifting out of my blood. I love yard sales. I've been doing them for a long time. My grandparents and mother went to yard sales as long as I can remember. You can check out my every other week adventures. I have a blog, fbaroadwarrior.com. Just tells you what I do, how I ship from a hotel, and the items I use and where I go. Not necessarily for FBA. It's hard to give away items, but I'll start throwing in a few nuggets to make it worth your time. I think I was not looking at the camera, sorry. And there's pictures over there. My wife and I, we pick a restaurant from Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, because we love that show. So we generally go to a restaurant in the city where we're at, and we'll tell you all about that too. So if you have any questions or comments, just let me know. You can leave a comment on the blog or this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll try to get better with the next one.